Kasich and Cruz have absolutely no path to victory. The only thing they can do is hope that for some reason it goes to a second ballot, which it won't, because we're going to get it on the first ballot, pretty sure. And I get a kick. We're not even really competing for this stuff. You know, you read all the stuff about the delegates and Cruz's team. That has nothing to do with the first ballot. That has to do with the second, third, fourth, fifth. And they say, where is Trump? Where is he? Why is... I don't care about the second, third, fourth, fifth ballot. We're going to win on the first ballot. So supposing it did go, oh, and then you'll read in these papers like the Washington Post, Trump with the... We don't even send people because we want to win the right way on the first ballot. And we should win on the first ballot. You certainly should win on the first ballot when you're millions of votes ahead. You certainly should win when the Republican Party is considered one of the hottest political parties anywhere in the world, when it's the biggest subject in the world, when voting is up almost 70% from 4 years ago. People are coming out to vote like they've never voted before. But how do you vote for a guy who has lost by 4 or 5 million votes, who is hundreds and hundreds of delegates down, who has lost, let's say I'll have 40 states, 32 states, 35, and they'll have like 13, 14, and now we're going to pick the guy. So we're going to pick a guy that over a year got creamed, right? Got creamed. And we're going to let him, because, so you explain how that's done. You would have a revolt. You would have, at a minimum, nobody, all these millions of people that have joined the Republican Party, which makes it so hot, all of these people will never vote. Believe me, they will never vote for anybody, probably, but they certainly won't be voting for Republicans. So it would make it impossible, like they talk about Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan doesn't want it for one reason. Because if Paul Ryan never got it, all of the people that came in to vote for Trump would never vote, and it's impossible for a Republican to win. Don't forget, the path for a Republican in terms of president is much tougher, much tighter. It's a much harder path than it is for a Democrat. I won Louisiana. Then I found out I won Louisiana. That's the first time I got wise. I said, wait a minute. They show me all my victories. I say, how good am I? How good? How good? But they showed me Louisiana. And I wasn't supposed to win Louisiana. I wasn't supposed to win the South. I won the South. In Alabama, I got almost 50%. We had landslides in the South. But Louisiana, I was not supposed to win. And I said, wow. I said, let's go down, because I know the people of Louisiana, they're great people. Let's go down and campaign a little bit, and maybe, who knows what happens. We went down. I made a couple of speeches. Then Friday night, and they had their election on a Saturday. On Friday night, I made a speech in this massive, massive airplane hangar, much, much bigger than this room. Much bigger than this room. Massive. It was packed, and there were people flowing out toward the runways, okay? I made a speech. There was so much love, so much enthusiasm. I said, why am I going to lose the state? The next day they voted, I won the state. Then they're showing me my victories. And alongside of Louisiana, they said Trump wins, but I had less delegates than Cruz, the guy who lost. I said, what kind of a system is this? That's the first time I ever really, lying Ted. He can't win with the voters. See, he can't win with the voters. So the only thing he can do is try and grab delegates. So he's got these massive teams of people that bring people out for steak dinners and bring people into hotel rooms. It's really a bad system, folks, I'll tell you. But Louisiana, I owe a lot to it. So then I watched, and now we're watching. But here's the thing. Let's win on the first ballot. We win on that first line. That way we don't. You know, I talk about prize fighters because you learn a lot about life by the prize fighters. There's a toughness there. And I was speaking to a champ, and he was going into unfriendly territory to fight a challenger, but the challenger had a great market, and it would have sold, and he makes more money. I said, champ, you shouldn't do that because you'll never get a decision, a fair decision. He said, no, sir, Mr. Trump. If I knock him out, there's not a damn thing the judges can do. And he knocked him out. And he picked up a big, great paycheck. I love the stories. I mean, there's so many great sports stories, right? But listen to this. So he knocks him out, picks. Now, our knockout, there's nothing they can do because nobody can take our first ballots away. You know, we have all these first ballots. In Pennsylvania, they have a very interesting thing. We get like 17 out of a lot. That's bad. The good is there is somewhat, and I've been told this by many people, there's a moral obligation that whoever wins the election, because hopefully we're going to have a big, big day tomorrow in Pennsylvania and the other places. But there's a moral obligation in Pennsylvania, it's the first time I've heard of it, that whoever wins the election on the first ballot gets all of the delegates. That's the way it should be. I mean, it should be more than the first ballot, but I'm not worried about beyond the first ballot. I'm not worried about beyond the first ballot because we're going to win it.